Thank you so much, Julie. So nearly half of the 8.5 million people who live in New York City are foreign-born. More than 1 in 3 New Yorkers are immigrants, and English is not their primary language. These findings are part of a comprehensive new report which paints a clearer picture of the immigrant populations across the city. And here to give us more insight, the city's immigration commissioner, Faiza Ali, and she's joined by Sadia Sherman, the director of the city's planning commission. Good morning to both of you. Thanks for being here to help us dig into the numbers and the trends that are exposed in this report. It's part of a series on the newest New Yorkers. And so give us the breakdown on what we're seeing as far as the ICE crackdowns that we're seeing within the immigrant populations and hoping to see those numbers decrease.
Yeah. You know, New York City's story is an immigrant story, and what the newest New Yorker report shows us is something that we've long known about New York City, that immigrants play a central role in our city's economy, in our culture, and in our neighborhoods. What we're seeing is a changing and evolving story as well, that there are immigrant neighborhoods in New York City that are becoming more diverse, and there are new immigrant hubs that are emerging in parts of South Brooklyn and Southeast Queens, in even parts of Staten Island and the Bronx. You know, New Yorkers, immigrant New Yorkers continue to come here seeking the same opportunities that my family came here seeking for. You know, I'm a daughter of immigrants, very proud. My family came from Pakistan, seeking opportunity. And what we're seeing is that New York City's story continues to build on that regard.
Yeah, and Sadia, what do you use this report for? And does that help the city decide where to place resources?
Absolutely. Understanding our city's population, particularly our foreign-born population, really helps us understand, first of all, where to plan for growth, right? How we can address housing and make sure that we're producing enough housing to meet our overall city need, and also that we're building housing in the neighborhoods where we're seeing large immigrant populations begin to come, like Staten Island. It also helps us really understand how we customize city services, and we make sure that we're taking into account all of the diversity of our city as we develop programs and policies and a variety of initiatives.
And so I know that I think from my reading of the report, the last time we had a report like this was 2013. So it's been a long time, and immigrant populations in centers and neighborhoods can shift dramatically in 13 years. So what are we seeing? What are some of the trends that you're teasing out from this latest finding?
You know, migration isn't something that's new to New York City.
Right.
And so what we are seeing is that there are immigrant neighborhoods that are becoming increasingly diverse, and that there are immigrants that are moving from one borough to another. And we see this in the Chinese community, for example, that is migrating from Brooklyn to Staten Island. So the trends are that immigrant communities are still finding a safe space and are living in New York City and across different neighborhoods.
So which of the boroughs have the highest number of immigrants that we're seeing right now?
Yeah, you know, Queens continues to be the borough with the highest number of immigrants, and we're seeing, I think Staten Island, I believe, is the other fastest growing community.
Yeah, but why did you see a decline? Did you understand why there was a decline in Brooklyn?
Sure. So Brooklyn still is number 2 in terms of boroughs with the largest immigrant populations. As we see people move from boroughs, it doesn't mean that they're necessarily leaving New York City. As was shared, right? We're seeing a migration of foreign-born individuals from China who are moving to Staten Island, for instance, where Staten Island in the last 10 years has seen a 5% increase in its immigrant population. And so we also know that New York City's immigrant population is dynamic, and folks are also moving around the city.
And we're seeing that immigrants make up 43% of New York City's workforce, which is stunning to think about that. And we're also seeing protests at the Immigration Detention Center in Newark. What is the city doing to protect our immigrants from being detained?
Yeah. It's really important right now to just underscore the level of fear and uncertainty facing immigrant communities. What we're doing right now is making sure that immigrant communities have access to information, and know your rights information in particular, that they know where to seek city services and resources. We're starting and kicking off our campaign during the World Cup, launching a New York City referee kit, which is our opportunity to sort of take a play on soccer and use a yellow and red card system, where yellow cards are being distributed across the city that connect New Yorkers to resources, and like Moya's immigration legal support hotline, and the red cards are providing know your rights information. Our goal is really simple, is to make sure that we're meeting communities where they are, that they have access to information, and they know where to turn to for support.
Yeah, immigrants are certainly a vital part of our city. Thank you, ladies, for coming in to speak with us this morning. Appreciate your time.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.